Welcome to Awaken Bake, an educational, high vibrational, mystical, spiritual show. I'm your host, Danny, and today we're going to talk about how to literally and immediately step into your higher self. 2023, I really wanted to take this entire year to prove to myself that I am the woman that I have always wanted to be. So for 2023, my focus is to every single thing that I do, constantly be asking myself, how would my higher self respond to this? I heard someone say once that Oprah Winfrey, one time was quoted, and she said that no matter what she does, she always tries to make the right decision or do the right thing. That's essentially what we're talking about here. Every single thing you do, check in with yourself, how would my higher self respond to this? And as we all know, the way law of attraction works, the more we do this, the more we attract less and less of what we don't want and more of what we do want. Now, I want to be clear, things are still going to happen, that's just fucking life, but you have way less momentum built up so that you're going to react to it in a negative way, or it's going to affect you more negatively. Like I said, if every single time you have an interaction or you have to make a decision or you have to react to something, if every single time you do that, you're thinking, how would my higher self respond? Then by the time something that's kind of inconvenient happens to you, the momentum built up to that is going to be so much easier because you don't have all of this pre-anxiety and pre-stress and pre-irritation that has been building up. You've been letting it go. You've been channeling your higher self. So when something that's kind of inconvenient or annoying happens, you're like, one of the reasons this is so helpful is because since you don't have as much momentum built up, so much negative energy built up, you'll be able to handle whatever the decision is, whatever the situation is, so much more efficiently, so much more balanced and grounded and truly coming from a place of your higher self. So for example, if you weren't doing this, right? And so bunch of shit kept building up. All of a sudden, the tip of the iceberg, one thing happens and you're like, oh wait, fuck, I'm supposed to channel this like my higher self. You have so much momentum built up. It's going to be harder. It's not going to be impossible. You can always choose your higher self, but it's going to be way harder to detach from those feelings and you're going to have way more to work through. Whereas if we just do it from the beginning, it's going to be way easier to make the correct decision, to make the efficient decision, to make this decision that comes from your higher self. You can also do this with your anxiety. I've been doing this a lot recently. So when I get anxiety, for me personally, it typically builds up right here in my chest. So what I'm doing now is I'm like, okay, how would my higher self handle this? I know that you're supposed to sit with it and not give it meaning, just sit with it and feel it and remind yourself you've been here before and it's okay. And that's hard as fuck to do when you're stressed, and it kind of makes the anxiety attack, if you're having one, way worse. So this method really helps because anytime you feel anxiety, you're not going to allow it to spiral. You're going to sit with it. You're going to feel it. You're going to think, how would my higher self handle the situation? I know how I do it. Figure out what works best for you. I've actually been doing this a lot recently. And what I'm noticing is my anxiety will literally go away once I sit with it. It's not one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm just going to distract myself or I'm just going to smoke it away. Bitch, I'm still going to smoke and I'm still going to do other things. But that's not my method to get rid of my anxiety. And I've been doing this so much. I did it at a party, actually, in the middle of a New Year's Eve party. Started to have an anxiety attack and I did this and it literally went away and I was able to enjoy the rest of the party. And then the next day on the drive back to San Diego, car rides just are kind of hard for me, especially very long ones are hard for me. Same shit happened, and what did I do? I sat with it, I breathed through it, and I did what was best for me in that moment, and it literally went away. Literally. I'm gonna be honest, I was not excited for the new year. I wasn't dreading it, but I don't have that New Year's resolution energy right now. I'm more of a spring chicken. So around March time is probably when I'll make a vision board and really set goals for the year. But I kind of just go based off of the seasons. I'm such a mammal. But anyway, so I really wasn't excited physically. I've actually been incredibly tired. I've been super drowsy and very low energy. I actually think that I'm quantum leaping and that's why I've been so tired, but I digress. However, in the spirit of the new year, I think just collectively I'm feeling everyone's energy. So I actually am very energetically inspired to do better, which is why I'm focusing on just living in alignment with my higher self. How would my higher self respond to this? This all sounds really easy, and it's not easy, it's just simple, but actually doing it and committing to it is kind of hard. So if you do it, please let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Stay high vibes.